Now we're going to check back in with our tomato seedlings and see how they're going 1 month after they've been planted. Let's go in closer and see what we can learn from watching our new seedlings. There's often a differentiation in seedling vigor and size. Sometimes it's also to do with how quickly they sprout, but we can see here that Kurajong, which is a new plant to me, I got it from Bega Seed Savers when I was up in New South Wales a while ago, is really quite a bit more vigorous than the other seedlings here. Now a lot of these seedlings are from the Dwarf Tomato Project. So there's Gondwana, Thunder, Rose, Moon, Lightning, Lava, and also Wild Fred. That's not part of the Gondwana series, but it's a Dwarf Tomato Project plant. And you'd expect those to be relatively similar because, especially the Gondwanas, they have the same kind of heritage. Now, you can also see here, so the first leaves that come up on flowering plants, such as tomatoes, are what we call the seed leaves. And the true leaves, or the first true leaves, are what look like the plant itself. So you can start to see tomatoey looking leaves just coming. You can also see where a seed maybe has become dislodged, and so the plant is sticking out of the ground. Now we can do a bit of emergency surgery on this and push it gently. Oops, that was the leftover seed, not attached to the seedling anymore. We'll try and push that down into the ground a little bit further into the potting mix so that we can try and save that seedling. What else can we see? There's a little bit of problem where the irrigation is dripping badly after being used and affecting that seedling. We can try and revive this one and move it down to the other end of this line. So let's make a tiny hole there where something didn't grow. And this is called pricking out a seedling. So you're using something like a bamboo skewer and you're holding the leaves really, really gently. You're definitely not tugging on the seedling. Pulling it out super, super gently, making a nice hole and delicately teasing the root into the ground. It's a little bit bent because it's had a bit of a hard time with the irrigation dripping on it. As I said before in the greenhouse video, irrigation is not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then we pat the soil down. It looks like there's been an earthquake, but really that's just from moving the box around. And we've had a fairly good germination rate. There's some missing from Gondwana Thunder, we don't know why. There's a couple missing from Linny's Orange Currant. And we've generally had a good result. Golden striped tomatoes, like a lot of heirloom plants, they have the name of the person that gave them to me, or the person that originally gave that person the seed. So Katerina's tomato is from someone who gave me the seed, got it from a woman called Katerina. Gordon gave me these. This is when I was doing talks for the tomato book. I was given these seeds to try out. And Linny's Orange Currant is from a dear friend. So these are able to grow on in here in the protected environment of the greenhouse for another 2 or so weeks, and they can be then planted out into the ground ready to go. These little seedlings have been planted into seed raising mix, which doesn't have any nutrients, but we would see that they are getting their roots deep down into the potting mix, which does have nutrients in it. I'm also helping them by watering them with some liquid sea salt or diluted sea salt, which is not so much as a fertilizer, but it supplies trace elements, and it also importantly helps to thicken the cell walls, so it will make the seedlings stronger and more able to cope with different temperatures and just be stronger in general. So for the tomato seedlings, you heard me mention that I use sea salt. I use large quantities of it, so I buy it in relatively large bottles, but it's available in small bottles. As I mentioned, it's not a fertilizer, but it is a health treatment for your plants. You fill up your watering can with water. The rates are all on the back. It's super easy. This one's just a screw top, so it can go at the top really easily. You use about 30 mils. I'm a bit of an approximator. You then, it's mixing in as you're walking along. And then I'm just watering super gently, just a quick zhuzh up of my tomato seedlings. And you can see there the colour of it. It's wasting a little bit just to show you, but it's very diluted. So this is quite safe to use every couple of weeks on your seedlings. It's not only the tomato seedlings I use sea soil on, I use it on all my plants. So everything can take a very light dose of this, and even plants like some natives that are quite sensitive to high rates of fertiliser seem to cope really well with sea soil.